name is Sophie Callahan. I am an equine photographer, I'm a country lifestyle blogger and vlogger, and I'm also a Hiho Silver ambassador. So I have been asked to give you a little gift guide today. I'm sure as equine and country people, which I would assume most of you are sick to death of gift guides for him, for her, for horses, for country people, for equine people, all of that. So this one is a little bit different. This is a gift guide for photographers, bloggers and vloggers. So if you have either an aspiring or a professional photographer in your family, or someone who has just started a blog or who has a well-established blog, I am going to give you a couple of little things that you might want to buy them for Christmas. So let's get started. Where is my list? So the first thing I have on my list is this. This is Blogosphere magazine. And it's basically like the holy grail of blogging. So it's got everything in here from interviews with top bloggers and vloggers. It's got sort of recommendations of who to follow, people that are gonna that Blogosphere think are gonna make an impact in the next sort of year or quarter. I think this comes out quarterly. So yeah, it's just really good. Like top tips on how to beat Instagram shadow ban. Caroline Hiron's weighs in on sponsored content, why we struggle to talk about depression online, Louise Pentland on sex, success and not saying sorry, fashion, parenting, fitness, beauty, food, lifestyle, travel, photography, bit of everything in this. And yeah, if you have a blogger, photographer or vlogger in your family, a subscription to Blogosphere would be a really, really good one. That's kind of a fail-safe. It's £30 for 4 issues, so that's like £30 a year basically, so that's a really, I think, really reasonable. And look at the size of it, like it's not a small magazine. There's lots and lots and lots in it. It says it's written for bloggers by bloggers, so yeah, I would highly recommend this. Next on my list is a camera strap. You will have to excuse the state of mind. This is what happens when you photograph horses and take it to yards. It is well and true past its sell by date, and I think I need another one. So family, if you are watching this, a camera strap would go a long way in my stocking. Yeah, this is my one. This is from a lady called Nicole Balowski. Sadly, I don't think she's doing them anymore, but there are so many of these online. There's lots and lots of them on places like Etsy, so I will link to a few below in the description. And there's kind of tweedy ones, there's like chiffony ones, sparkly ones, all types of colours, so there really is something for everybody. And the amount of comments I get on this, because most people just have a plain black camera strap, so it's really nice when I turn up with, that's my dog running around. Yeah, it's just a little bit different when I turn up with a sparkly camera strap, and everyone's like, whoa, that's a bit fancy. So yeah, one of those is something a bit different and quite a nice idea. Next up is an editing mug. So this says, editing day, don't bother me, which is great for both photographers and bloggers because they all have to edit. And editing can be time consuming, so lots of tea and coffee is a must. Yeah, so a little mug like this would be a really good stocking filler. Really cheap and inexpensive. Again, loads and loads of different varieties of these on places like Etsy. So I will link to a couple in the description below. So my next pick isn't all that exciting, but is incredibly practical. These little guys are memory cards, and if you are a photographer or you're a blogger that needs to take photos, you can never have enough memory cards because they always go walkabouts. So yeah, just again, a nice little stocking filler. I think they're about £15–20 each. I have these all over the place. I'm just constantly finding and constantly losing memory cards, so if someone bought me some, I would be very grateful. So I have a book here. I've got a couple of books. The first is the $1 Million Blog book. This book is absolutely invaluable. A lot of it is, if you're already blogging, if you're already established, is kind of stuff you might already know, but I don't necessarily think that hurts, because sometimes it's just good to read something that kind of affirms what you already know and gives you a bit of a kick up the bum. And this does also have a lot of new ideas. It's really motivational, really inspirational. It's got a lot of case studies in, so it kind of goes through people that have been really successful with their blog, how they've done it, how you might be able to use the methods that they've used and the strategies that they have used. Yeah, it's just really good. It basically says everybody can blog, everybody should blog, everybody's got something to say and something to bring to the table, and it's just, I finished this book and I was like, right, really, this book is what made me turn my blog around. I used to use it as just a place to write about my shoots, and now it's kind of its own entity. I am not just a photographer who blogs, I am a blogger as well, and I think that's probably thanks to this book, and I have Rhea Freeman to thank for that because she introduced me to this book. So yeah, this is a really, really good one. The $1 Million Blog by Natasha Courtney Smith is just excellent, so I'll link to that below on Amazon. Okay, this one is a bit of a funny one, but bear with me. These are not rolls of wrapping paper. These are vinyl, I don't actually know what they're called on. I got these from B&Q. They're £6 each. They're yeah, like vinyl stickers that you would perhaps stick to a work surface. This one's a white wood one. See? And the other one is white marble. And this seems like a very strange present to buy somebody, but they are amazing for flat lays. So I don't have that many different surfaces in my house. I have a wooden floor and I have a wooden table, and after that I'm kind of out really. These things make the best flat lay backgrounds. They look really realistic, really effective, and they're £6. So yeah, it's a strange present, and if somebody doesn't know you're buying it for them, they might open them and be like, what is this? But they're so useful. I use them all the time, and I really need some more. So basically, I'm just writing my own gift list here. So if anyone wants to buy me vinyl flat lay backgrounds, crack on. Okay, another one that's a little bit off the wall, but I love it. This is my little vintage camera. I got this from a boot sale, and I think it was like 50p, and it's the nicest little ornament. I have it next to my Mac on my little desk, and everyone comments on it. It's really cute. It doesn't work, sadly, but yeah, it's just like a vintage camera ornament. Can be really, really inexpensive, really original, and super effective. So yeah, if you can find one of these, places like boot sales and flea markets and antique centres are filled with old vintage cameras that don't work, and really, really, really inexpensive. So I would highly recommend these. I love these. I would like some more. Yeah, please don't think I'm weird. Okay, another book, because who doesn't love a book? This is Brand Brilliance by Fiona Humberstone, who is the brand stylist, and it is possibly the prettiest book I've ever had. I actually found this again at Rhea's. Rhea has a lot to answer for. When I went to her for a lunch meeting, which was very little meeting, very much lunch, she introduced me to this book, and she was like, oh, you can borrow it if you like when I'm done with it. And I was like, I cannot borrow that. I need that on my bookshelf. It's got gold foil writing. And the imagery is just absolutely stunning in it. Look at this one. So it's got lots of very, very pretty images. It's just, I mean, it's a branding book, and it's so on brand. Like, the whole thing is just beautiful. So yeah, so this is really actually good for anyone that's got their own business, but photographers and bloggers are often very into things being on brand and building their own personal brand, and this is just such a good book. It asks a lot of really pertinent questions. It makes you think. It makes sure you're on the right track with your brand. Make sure that everything is on point and really, really slick and glossy. And if nothing else, it's the imagery and the way it's done. It's such a beautiful book that it's just really inspirational. It really makes me want to go and take lots of lovely Instagram pictures. So yeah, I love this. This is really, really pretty. It's £25. I will link to it on Amazon below. I love it. This is an incredibly boring looking little tool, but incredibly useful. So I vlog, obviously, and I often do behind the scenes footage of my shoots. So whether you're a photographer that wants to capture behind the scenes of their shoots just for marketing purposes, or whether you're a blogger that wants to go into more vlogging and do more video content, this little thing is super, super useful. This connects my G7X, which I am filming on now over there, to my DSLR, and it pops it on the top and it allows me to film my shoots without having to have another hand or another person to help me or anything like that. I just film whatever's in front of my camera and don't have to worry about it. So it makes vlogging my shoots super useful without me having to think, oh gosh, I've got to vlog, and kind of taking something away from my attention to my client and my focus on getting the right shots. So yeah, this is very useful. I have written down what it's called somewhere. It is called the Fantasil DSLR Camera 1/4 inch thread ball head hot shoe adapter mount for Nikon. That's what that's called. But again, I will link to it in the description below. I'm not sure if it would fit onto a Canon because I don't use Canon, so I don't know what the mechanisms are. But if not, I'm sure there is an equivalent somewhere. You might just have to do a little Google search, but this one works. It's got a little screw-in top, so most of the vlogging cameras will be able to sit nicely on the top, and then it's got a slide-on bottom which just goes onto the top of your DSLR. Yeah, again, a funny little present. I'm sorry all of these are a little bit off the wall, but they're all really, really, really useful, and they're all things that I use all the time and that I either want more of or couldn't live without. Or so yeah, that's that little Ujima flip, which I love, and I lost for a little while and I didn't know what I was doing without it. And the last thing is my vlogging camera, which I can't show you because I'm currently filming on it. It's the Canon G7X Mark II. I upgraded to it earlier this year from the Canon PowerShot N2, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. I absolutely love it. The audio is fantastic, the picture is fantastic, it's great in lower light situations. It's just a really, really super smart, useful little camera. It's really, really tiny. It's about that big. It fits in my handbag, it fits in my pockets. It's just great. I love it. It's definitely the best on the market. I'm so glad I upgraded. I can see a massive difference. That is probably my most pricey option because it does sell for around £600, I think. So if you're looking for a really, really special present for the blogger, vlogger, photographer in your life, the G7X is definitely what I would go for. So that's all I've got for you. I think you probably all think I'm totally nuts now telling you to buy cameras from boot shops, memory cards and funny little toggly things, and vinyl for your photographer blogger friends. But honestly, these things are all super, super useful, and I'm pretty sure would be appreciated by any blogger or photographer or vlogger in your life. So I hope it's been interesting for you. I hope it's been something a bit different because I know there are 1,000,001 gift guides, including on my blog at the moment. You can find me at sophiecallahanphotography.com or sophiecallahanblog.com. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, so I'd love you to come and say hi. And thank you very much to Hiho and to Ria and to Emma for letting me do this, and I hope you all have an amazing Christmas, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye!